Jesus said to his disciples, "Whoever loves me will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our home with him. Whoever does not love me does not keep my words. And the word that you hear is not mine, but is from the Father who sent me. I have said these things to you while I am still with you, but the Advocate, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, will teach you everything and remind you of all that I have said to you. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not let them be afraid. You heard me say to you, I am going away, and I am coming to you. If you love me, you would rejoice that I am going to the Father, because the Father is greater than I. And now I have told you this before it occurs, so that when it occurs, you may believe." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
There is a wonderful continuity between the readings from last Sunday and this Sunday. The same two interwoven themes present themselves to the meditative reader. The apostolic foundations of the faith as it makes its way through time and its contingencies, and an elaboration of the central commandment of love. The situation in Antioch, Syria. Some so-called teachers of the faith showed up in Antioch, claiming the authority of the Mother Church in Jerusalem. They were telling new Gentile converts to the faith that in order to be good Christians, you had to keep the Jewish ritual laws, like eating kosher, not eating pork, and getting circumcised. This was disturbing the faith of the non-Jewish Christians in Antioch and other Christian communities in Syria. So they sent delegates to Jerusalem to check out if these particular doctrines had the authority of the Apostolic College. Now, this was a big question in the early church. Did non-Jews have to become followers? Did non-Jews who became followers of the way, disciples of Jesus, have to become Jewish first? After all, Jesus was Jewish, so why shouldn't his followers be? What was to be the relationship between Judaism and this emerging, quickly growing community of Jews and non-Jews who believed Jesus is the Messiah, the Christ? As the first of many divisive questions facing the Church throughout her long history, it is still instructive for us today. Faced with this source of divisiveness, the apostles and elders gathered in council, as they have many times since. They decided that Gentile Christians did not have to become Jewish in order to be good Christians. And if they were male, they did not have to get circumcised. And they were free to eat non-kosher foods like pork and shellfish. Paul and Barnabas were sent to Antioch to communicate the decision of the Apostolic College and so settle the question. After the destruction of Jerusalem by the Roman armies in 70 AD, and the martyrdom of both St. Peter and St. Paul in Rome, the center of apostolic authority naturally shifted from Jerusalem to Rome, and the College of Bishops, successors of the apostles, in communion with the Bishop of Rome, the successor of St. Peter. Just as the first generation of Christians in Antioch looked to Jerusalem for leadership and guidance when faced with a disputed question, subsequent generations of Catholics have looked to the successors of the apostles, the bishops, in communion with the Bishop of Rome, the Pope. Our second reading also points to this apostolic foundation of the New Jerusalem, which is the Church. It says, "And the wall of the city was 12 foundations, and on them were the 12 names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb." So what about the question of love? How does Jesus add to what he said about love last week? The new commandment, love one another just as I have loved you. By this everyone will know that you are my disciples. Look how they love one another. And the question we ended with last week, what do they see when they look at us? Today, in the Gospel, Jesus speaks of love again, but gives us more to chew on. Whoever loves me will keep my word, he says. I love this little word, keep. Like the soil that keeps the germinating seed. Like Mary kept the word, and the word became flesh. How keeping his word leads to intimacy with the Father. And the Father and the Son will come and make their home with us. And just so we don't miss the Trinitarian dimension of this teaching, notice that the Holy Spirit is included in this promise of dwelling and teaching. The Father gives us the Son, and the Father and the Son give us the Holy Spirit, who will teach us everything and remind us of everything that Jesus said to us. And this ongoing pedagogy of the Spirit, what does it ask of us? To keep the word of the Word made flesh, handed on fresh and new for every generation, a word forever young that never grows old. Love one another just as I have loved you.